Hey, Devin, your defense obviously got a lot of turnovers yesterday to make that comeback possible. But can you take us through like the final throw there to Cooper Kupp? And was there a miscommunication? It looked like a zero blitz. I mean, what was going on there?
Um, yeah, we was definitely in a pressure at the end of the game, and they was coming off a hurry up situation. So just far as miscommunication, the call was communicated, but I feel like it was no time to process things and to hurry up and look at the formation and get a line as quickly as we would like. So therefore, that caused a lot of people to be a little timid with getting lined up because everything was going so fast. So I wouldn't say it was a miscommunication, but I feel like just the problem that was presented was they was going hurry up, and whether if it's a zero blitz, a fire zone blitz, whenever you're pressuring, it's a lot of talking that needs to be done. It's a lot of moving parts to the defense, and it wasn't all was able to get communicated just as fast or lined up as fast because you're just trying to hurry up to the line of scrimmage and get going. So I think communication was, the defense the call was communicated throughout the defense, but I feel like as far as the Rams going fast, it was hard for everybody to get up and look at their assignment because you got to process plays. You can't just run up and be like, oh, just go. You got to kind of process it. And, hey, if you covering this guy, you got to, talk with the other DB. If two DBs covering, they got to say, hey, possibly in and out. It's different things that goes on rather than just lining up and covering.
Thanks.
Generally.
Hey, Devin, thanks so much for doing this. What's the biggest lesson that you've kind of taken from like the last 2 years? You got to the top of the mountain last year, so early in your career, and then, you come back and you get close, but not quite close enough. Just what do you kind of take from all that?
I mean, just as far as just personally playing, I just say, far as myself, man, I got to be even more consistent. I got to be consistent with my play in and out weekly, whether I'm dealing with injuries or whatever it be, I got to be consistent because I'm always going to have the mindset that the defense go where I take them. My energy, my playmaking ability, whatever it is. And, that's what was asked of me when I got drafted here. And so I just feel like the biggest thing I learned is just to be more consistent, whatever it is, like don't let the game get bigger than what it is and, do my part. And I feel like everybody will feed off that, just feed off my energy and stuff like that because obviously they look for me to be that guy. Speaking on the defensive side of the ball, those guys look for me to be that guy, and we all play off one another. So I just say that's the biggest thing I learned is just to stay true to the game and stay consistent.
And obviously there's a lot of uncertainty going into the off season for a lot of big name players on your team. Tom has a decision to make. Your good buddy Leonard Fournette, JPP, free agency. What's it like for you kind of approaching the off season and the uncertainty of that? A couple guys were saying how, they didn't really want to leave the locker room yesterday because, they just didn't really know what was going to be next.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody knows. The number one thing is I'm happy for a lot of guys that can go out and, whether it's here with us or whether it be on another team, that they can do something to take care of their family. Somebody's going to pay them because there's a lot of great guys on this team. And, the number one thing is I'm thankful to have the opportunity, the privilege to play with certain guys. Really all the guys, if they leave, if they come back, I'm thankful because once we here, in this locker room, we lay it on the line. Just like yesterday, we was down, we came back. It was never not a thought that, hey, we're going to pull together and we're going to overcome this because that's just always been our mindset. But, the number one thing I say is good players want to play with other good players. So, whatever the situation may be, man, I just hope, some guys can come back. And for the ones that don't come back, nothing is going to change as far as our friendships. But I'll most definitely be happy for them that they getting another opportunity to especially make money. Like this league, obviously, if you're a good player, you get paid. And I wish nothing but the best for the ones who's seeking other places to get paid. But, I mean, it's so early right now. I know nobody's not worried about that right now. Everybody, you're still kind of healing from a tough loss. But, man, the ones that come back, man, it's more work to do. Like, just because we made it, we won it, then we made it this far, like it don't stop here. Like we got to overcome a lot of things, and I feel like next year be even hungrier.
Thank you.
We'll go to Joey Knight. If any media have questions, please raise your hand.
Devin, everybody knows what the obvious goal for this season was. There's no question of that. Having fallen short of that goal, how will you reflect on 2021? Do you still consider it a success? Do you consider it a disappointment? How do you look at it?
Nah, I definitely consider it very disappointing because, I mean, it was a lot of ups and downs over this season, and we overcame a lot. Injuries. A lot of key pieces not being able to be full strength all year. We did a great job with overcoming that, and it's like, hey, we didn't just come this far just to overcome stuff and say, hey, we did as much as we can do with what we had. No, we had guys that step in and play big roles, even when they probably didn't expect to play those big roles. And we did what we had to do. But at the end of the day, we definitely came short. Like, when you got a team of this magnitude with the type of leaders that we have, it's Super Bowl or nothing. And obviously we didn't make it, so it's like we got to get back there next year. It's already to think of how we can get back there, and talking to different, coaches is like, hey, I got to help us out. I got to get this type of player. I got to have more depth here because, we kind of got banged up here. So it's like that's the main thing is how can we get better for next year, and that's what we already talking right now.
JCL.
Devin, you talked. It was a very up and down season for you, and obviously you guys didn't reach your team goal, but some of your personal goals you set either weren't achieved by yourself. What are you taking from that, and what are you really going to work on in this offseason to kind of get better and perfect your craft?
I just say the number one thing is I think the biggest thing for me is just to be more disciplined. When I evaluate myself, I think it's a great thing, but it's also a hurtful thing. Is I'm overly aggressive because I got the speed to make up for plays, and I got the IQ to make other plays, and I think they don't go hand in hand sometimes. Sometimes I could do a little too much. And I think the number one thing is just a lot of film study and just like a lot of zoning in on what I have to do and just being a little more patient. But, man, you look at it one year, it works. The things that I was doing, it works. Then you look at it another year, it works, but then it don't work, and then it'll work, and then it don't work. So I think it's just being a little more disciplined. I think for as football, I think God gave me all the tools that I need to be a great player, and all I got to do is just keep sharpening those tools. But to be an even greater football player, I think I got to be more disciplined. Well, I know I got to be more disciplined, and that's something that I continue to work on. But I'm not gonna let it affect like my up-tempo style playing, but I do it in the right way. I do a lot of more film study to make sure I know when to trigger, when to do this, when to take my shot in the run game, to do a lot of different things.
Good time for a few more. We'll go to John Romano.
Hey, Devin, I know you talked about the Rams being in a hurry up and not being able to process real quickly in between plays. But once that ball was snapped, how quickly did it feel like that play came off? It looked like Stafford recognized the blitz immediately and zeroed in on Kupp one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, when you run the blitz that we ran, obviously he could see that it was not a middle field safety, so he knew he could just launch the ball down there. At the end of the day, it was a 50-50 chance that it was going to be an overthrow, incompletion, or his guy was going to make a play for him. So that's what he did. He did that in spite of that. And I know that because, I mean, obviously you got pressure coming towards you. You don't see a middle field safety. So even if you overthrow it or something, you don't have a middle field safety going to rob that ball. It's just, it's one of your guys and one of their guys. So it's always going to be a 50-50 chance. But, I mean, that was a great job by him in getting the ball off. It was a great job.
All right, that's all I have. Thanks, Devin.
All right, thank you.